Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Megan. I am a new YouTuber from South Africa. I am 22 years old and I am still figuring out what this channel is all about. Today I will be doing just a little bit something different than my previous video where I introduced myself. I will be DIYing miniature succulent gardens, and this is actually something that I have been doing since I was a kid. You might hear some noises and see some cats. I will be sure to introduce you at the end, but until then, yeah, let's get into it. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to take our containers. Obviously you have to pick a container. It can be pretty much anything. It could be made out of plastic, glass, clay, pottery, anything really. Succulents aren't very picky in what they grow, or even the soil doesn't really matter that much. They're very simple to manage. And yeah, in South Africa where I stay, in the Free State, it's very dry, it's very arid, very flat. And since we have been experiencing severe drought for quite some time, succulents are basically the only thing that survives out here. Succulents and cacti. It's very rare for much else to survive, maybe a few flowers, but it's very rare. And since our government has imposed water restrictions upon us, we unfortunately can't water our gardens to be able to keep anything else. I use the water from my baths and showers to be able to water my lawn so that my house at least looks nice. Speaking of which, we are in my living room at the moment. Change of scenery. Bear with me until I figure out exactly what I want to do, but I'm getting off track. I will be using these little glass containers with this really pretty decal and a very pretty bottom. These succulents I am planning on giving as gifts, so I really want them to look nice. I am going to do one succulent bowl with a few different species of succulents, and then I'm going to do another one like this but with only one larger succulent. And what I actually will be potting them in is my own creation of soil, my own mixture of soil, which is one pot potting soil, which is good for root development and all vitamins and whatnot for the plant. Sorry. And then also one pot red soil, which is very fine granulated and has good water drainage, which succulents actually prefer because they don't like having what I like to call wet feet, and that's why you need to let their soil go completely dry before watering again, or they might develop something called root rot, which you really don't want. It really is awful. It spreads to all the plants that is in that pot at the time. Sorry about the lighting. I'm filming in natural light since my artificial lighting has not yet arrived. But let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is, well, I'm going to take my little bowl and I'm going to take a spoon because it's the easiest when you're working with something that has such a small circumference. I'm going to add my soil, and I'm not going to pack it too densely so that my succulents have a nice aridy, aired out area for roots to develop without them having to struggle, because that'll just cause the plant to die, and we really don't want that. My father's mother, so my grandmother on my father's side, my Ava as I called her, because I am half Portuguese and she was my Portuguese grandmother. I also speak the language and dream of visiting Portugal at some point in my life. Okay, so what you do is you make a little hole, add your plant. This is our first succulent. Isn't she absolutely beautiful? My grandmother called her a mira mira num toques, and that is Portuguese, and the translation in English actually means admire, but do not touch. This is a very fragile succulent, not something that I would tell a beginner to start with. Like the slightest brush, or if you touch them too hard, their little leaves actually fall off, which then causes them to die. Then I will be adding what you guys are probably going to think I am completely insane for touching it, a baby cactus. This baby cactus, actually, the thorns are still very, very soft. It kind of feels like touching like a very cheap like paintbrush. It kind of has that texture to it, so it doesn't hurt to touch it at all. It's really just kind of cute when they're babies, but I would not go touch the plant that this one's from, though. I really wouldn't want anybody to do that. Then I have this little beauty. These guys have been soaking in water so that they are nicely hydrated and can develop roots properly. These actually have been laying in water for a few days, so they already have been starting to develop some roots, which will just help them get used to their new little home. When they do grow too large for this container, I will remove them and add them to a different container, and if you guys like to see that, let me know down below and I will be sure to do that. Then the last one that I will be adding to this little creation of mine will be this little beauty of a succulent. These are actually quite popular and very sought after because they are absolutely beautiful. They grow quite large and they spread very easily in open areas, and when they are big they look like beautiful succulent roses, and everybody here loves them because the city which I live is known as the City of Roses. So there we go. Add a little bit more soil to there where you see the plants may need it, or maybe needs a little more, it didn't get enough. And then we have the cutest little succulent garden I ever did see. And then when these get too big, I will transplant others into here and these into something larger so that they can continue growing and make little babies of their own. Okay, so next up we actually have a larger succulent that will be added to the next little vase I'm already filling with soil. And the reason why I'm specifically putting this succulent in this small container is because these succulents don't grow larger than the amount of soil that they have access to. And for now I really want to keep this guy in my bedroom on my bookshelf because I think she's beautiful. If you look at her from the top, she's this really pale green, kind of like my throw and curtains, and then if you turn her actually to the side, she has these beautiful browny red undertones with white stripes running across, and they are quite rough to touch but don't hurt. But they are very beautiful to look at. They're very easy to maintain. They need very little attention. A little bit of water once every 2 weeks, I would say. It all depends on where you live, your humidity, temperatures, things like that. Succulents are all different, and some of them are a little bit trickier than others. Cacti, very simple. And we are almost done here. And there we go. And just like that, they're done. These beauties are finished, and they look so cute from the side and so cute from the top. Let me show you them one at a time. Absolutely adorable. I quite love all things green and garden, so if you guys would like to see a little bit more gardening on my channel, please let me know down below. I would really appreciate it. And then we've got this guy that is absolutely stunning. And yeah, well, those are my little succulent gardens. I will give you guys an update on them in a couple of weeks on Instagram, so my link is down below and you can go follow me there to see how they're doing in a few weeks and if they've grown any. And until then, I hope you guys have an amazing day and stay safe and happy. Do something absolutely wonderful for yourself today, and please take care of yourselves. I know it's hard sometimes, but please take care of yourselves. And if you'd like, please like, subscribe, and join me on Saturday when I post my next video to introduce you to my teeny beeny little baby kitties. This one, as you can see, is called Trouble Junior. She's female, and yeah, she is living up to her name. This is my little man. Ain't he pretty though? That's also being quite silly. They were sleeping. I was bothering them. I'm sorry, but the channel wanted to meet you. And his name is Quagga, which is complicated. Google it.